Hey y'all, welcome to Art of the Budget. My name's Nicole. My pronouns are she and her, and I live in the Pacific Northwest on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish nations. And today we're doing a budget check-in. This is budget check-in for week 5 of October 2021. And I've got a lot of transactions. October overall has been an extremely spendy month, and I think not for any particularly good reason. I did do a little more social stuff, and I know I'd planned in the beginning of the month. I put a little more towards eating out, knowing that some social stuff was coming up. But it really felt so that was very nice, and it was a busy, fun month. But ultimately, it really came down to just not being very organized. And then, spending more money than was really necessary, I think. I mean, for the most part, yeah. So I've started working on my 2022 budget, which means I'm starting to reflect on my 2021 budget and figure out if there's places that I need to be increasing or, or otherwise zeroing in on the correct budget number for different categories. And I don't think it's really that I need to raise the categories and the areas I spent money. I think it just came down to being a little bit disorganized. As far as travel, that's where I spent the bulk of extra money, and I'm going to be busting into my emergency fund. No going to see your family for the holidays. It's not a true emergency, but that was just a decision I made about allocation. And that was just because of, just we've been in this weird time. Traveling has been so we've been so unsure about traveling. And then I ended up going to Florida twice this summer, which of course used up all my points. So yeah, that was a bit of a ramble. We're gonna get into these transactions. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. And if you are returning, thanks so much for helping me stay accountable on my budget. I hope this helps you in some way, even if it's just for entertainment. I do love watching other people's budgets. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. I had to get gas. Y'all, I was really driving on fumes for a while there. I usually go 220 miles on a gas tank. I mean, well, I had never really gone more than 230 miles on a gas tank. I put the tripometer on every time. But this time I went 270 miles on my gas tank, so I was really pushing it. But anyway, I got some gas. It was $47.55. I sometimes think should this be an October expense since it's gonna put me way over a November expense because it's gonna put me way over for October, and technically I'll use most of the gas in November, but you know what? I like to just keep things really clear, and this was spent in October, so we're gonna call it an October expense, and this might mean that we're a little under in November. I do know from my yearly spreadsheets that typically this $100 is typically enough. So there are months when I'm a little over and months when I'm a little under, but it kind of averages to $100. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in. We've got lots of red. Why not add to it? Lots of red numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go up to sharing. I'm just going to go down this list one by one. I'm going to go to sharing my income. A little wasp just flew in. I don't know how they got in, but they did. Very disconcerting. Okay, sharing. And I only have 87.60 remaining, but I also have this 42 remaining and 2% to art. And someone I know in the art world is creating studio for Black ceramic artists, which are very underrepresented, have historically been excluded from our field, which if you think about is pretty wild. And so I am so excited to support this. Plus, I think this person, I don't know them well, but I just think they're just really cool, and I just am really impressed with everything they do. So I decided to share $115. So I gave a $100 donation on the GoFundMe, and then they ask you for a tip. So yeah, I contributed $100 to their project, and I'm gonna put that in sharing. And then I think I'll have this, I'll kind of move this over there. That'll make sense. Okay, let's go down to groceries. Oh, and that project, by the way, is happening in the Philadelphia area. So if anyone is interested, I don't know if they have a website yet, so I don't know if I'll drop it, but let me know in the comments if you're interested, and I'll try to connect you with information. Okay, so I got groceries, and again, this is a situation where I was actually going to a friend in my pod house for dinner, and I didn't have, like, the thing I wanted to make was kale salad, like when you massage it and put lemon and Romano cheese on it. And so I stopped at the grocery store, but I had already gone through the flyer, and my CSA is done for the year, so I picked up groceries, like particularly veggies and things that were on sale that I knew I would need. So this is mostly going to be eaten in November, but I'm going to go ahead and count it for this month. Again, we're already over. Why not? You know? And then I got lunch with some friends the other day at a place in town. So it's a shop that I often go to, but I didn't realize they had a restaurant attached. I mean, I knew the restaurant was there, but I didn't realize it was the same folks. So anyway, I was excited to try it, and that was $24.04. It's gonna go in restaurants. The one area that I'm not over, only because I increased it a lot this month. I got eggs from one of my coworkers. I don't know if you've noticed this trend, but I always try to buy eggs from my friends' backyards, my coworkers' backyards when I can. Eggs are a pretty big staple in my house. They're kind of my go-to food. They're very easy. Yeah, I always try to pick them up when I can. I had to get cash though, because my friend is very old school and does not have Venmo, and or my coworker and friend. So while I was at it, I also picked up bread, and then there was actually, so I got cash, and so there was actually some cash that's sitting in my wallet, but just so it's accounted for, I'm going to count it, I'm going to include it here, and I'm going to put that towards groceries. Violet had her recheck for her IBD at the specialist, so that was $146, so that goes into CAT fund, to the big sinking fund for medical things. Paycheck 2 came, I'm really jumping around here. So that's going to go into next month. And for anyone who doesn't know, this just hangs out. This doesn't go anywhere. And then I use this number for next month's budget. So that was $2,123.39 next month. Actually, while we're at it, I do want to just mention that next month, November, begins open enrollment. I think I'm going to do a little video about that. Let me know if you're interested. I am going to be doing some changes this month, so I looked into everything, and yeah, if you're having open enrollment come up at work, now is the time. If you have like a dentist you don't like I did this year, or if you have medical expenses coming up, see if you've got an FSA you can contribute to. I don't use a high deductible savings account, so I don't have access to an HSA or a health savings account, but I do use my FSA when I know I have some expenses coming up. And so, yeah, definitely check it out. I'll do a video about it maybe next week or something. All right, so let's go on. Let's keep going. I'm going to go to fun. Where are you, fun? So I went and did Raku with my friends, and I did contribute towards like all of the equipment and stuff, and the materials and stuff, but I did that out of my business account. However, I did spend $20 on, my friend drove up, and we stopped and got bubble tea or boba tea, and they paid because I couldn't find my wallet. So I Venmoed them $20, and I'm going to call that fun. Oh, and this is interesting. So I'm going to scroll down to tech, and if you look here, I spent $66.18 on some chargers. Funny story. I guess that some shipments are having a hard time getting into the U.S. I realized that I was kind of late to the game on that information. But anyway, yeah, they kept getting postponed. And so I actually went to my Buy Nothing group and I said, hey, I ordered these chargers and they are not coming. Does anyone have chargers that they are not using this particular type. And I got two. So I had my two that I owned that were kind of starting to fall apart. One, the wire was starting to come loose from the part that plugs into your phone, and the other one, the part that plugs into your phone, has gotten bent. So anyway, now I have two, and those still function, so they are backups. Thank you, Buy Nothing. You gotta love your local Buy Nothing group, and I did go in and get refunded for this. For some weird reason, it came as 2 refunds. So I'm gonna just drop those into the tech fund, and that should square up. So let's look at that. Yeah, looks good. Hopefully that equals 6618. All right, so a couple more transactions and then we're done. Okay, back up to groceries. So I did buy snacks for Raku. I was just so busy that week I didn't have time, so I just went to the store and I bought vegan cheese, regular cheese, crackers, and and I bought anchovies because my friend made these really cute like radish mice. Like they were radishes that they were just like cut to look like mice, and so I made some anchovy butter to go along with them. Maybe I was the only one who ate it, but I was really excited about it. So yeah, that's going to be $33.35. When you're buying, I mean, that vegan cheese is like $7.99 or something. Although it's really tasty. It's like mostly coconut oil, but like very tasty coconut oil. But anyway, I got a couple snacks out of the vending machine at work that takes a card, and that was $2.60 total. Again, busy, disorganized, not great meal prep. I'm just putting that in restaurants because it's not red. And last but not least, it's not last. Real quick, I'm going to say auto insurance came out. That was $99.31. That's cool. And then you know what? I've sent back this Rebdolls order, but I haven't been refunded for it yet. So I'm going to take this out of clothing. Did I not do that yet? I didn't. I'm going to take this out of clothing. I'm going to reconcile because it's time to reconcile. And then next month when the refund comes in, I certainly hope it comes in, I will count it as miscellaneous income. So $82.98. Be really bummed out if it doesn't. Yeah, okay, we're gonna leave it like that. Okay, well, that's it. That's me for the month. I'll be seeing you next week. All of my reconciliation and my plan for November. As I mentioned, I'm starting to look at my big picture budget for 2022. Let me know if you've got any exciting plans for 2022. I think as next month goes on, as we get into Christmas or like December, should I do Vlogmas? ? We'll be talking more about these things, but I'd love to know if you've got anything you're planning for next year as we start getting into the season of the 2022 budget. All right, that's it for me. Have a great week, and I will see you in the next video.